So there's a very low chance of me putting these shields back on ever. This point. So we got one shield off. Let's take a look at what that looks like under the microscope. See what we got here. Oh, we have nothing because I didn't plug in the microscope camera. Okay, good job, jackass. Let's try this. See what I get. See anything yet? Alright, you should see something now. See, yeah. You see? Okay, that the water got in over there. And you have some shit by this shit over here that I don't know what it's for. But it's probably something important because Jessa makes a fuck ton of money replacing all that crap. It doesn't look like anything's really nasty over here. So this is probably not the reason it's not turning on. Let's go over to the next shield and remove that. Okay. Also, I'm going to reposition the clamp. But I got this clamp from David at Advanced Reworks. By the way, if you're interested in a clamp like this, ask David. David Ritchie's at Advanced Reworks. He has all this type of clamping, soldering, BGA shit, like custom stuff. It's just, you know, random things here and there. Like, I need a stencil for this thing. I need a clamp that holds that. He has, you know, he knows where to get all this stuff. You can buy it on AliExpress. You can save money, but if you need a specific thing and you just want somebody who knows what to get you, I would rather just pay whatever fee he's going to ask for than, you know, try to trace this shit down, wait a month, realize I got the wrong thing. So he has a lot of these cool little accessories. I don't get paid for saying that. It's just, I know that a lot of people are going to ask. I get a lot of equipment requests on this channel, a lot of equipment questions. So I'm trying to answer them in the video. So this way, you know, it just cuts down on me answering the same questions over and over again. This is probably not the right clamp for the job. I know that Jessa uses a HAKKO Omnivise. This here is meant for BGA rework. So the average person using this would put the stencil with a graphics chip or a CPU or a PCH or a large chip in here, and that's what they would use this for reballing. And I don't have an Omnivise because I don't feel like spending $50-$70 on a clamp when I already own a clamp that I paid for. So that's what I'm using this for. So it's not ideal. Actually, it's really not ideal because the shit keeps moving. But it does the job. Kind of, sort of does the job. You may curse a little more using this than the Omnivise, but, you know. It's already here. Most of my business and most of the tools that I use, and I think Jessa would agree, a lot of the stuff that you wind up using to do your job is not necessarily what's the best for it. It's just, it's like it's 2 in the morning and I'm trying to figure something out and I don't want to wait a week to figure out exactly what the proper thing is because it kind of breaks your concentration and it just breaks the flow of everything. It breaks the momentum. So you just kind of look around your house, you look around your office, and you say, can I use this for what I'm trying to do? And if it works, you use it. And a lot of people go, why do you use wire you took out of a battery? And I say, because the battery's right next to me. Like, what, I'm gonna go to Home Depot and I'm gonna find wire that I can put under an LP8550? Like, no, that's not gonna fucking happen. Yeah, speaking of not gonna fucking happen, I need this clamp, man. Yeah, let's move this up a little bit. Okay, get more of it in the clamp. Here we go. I think this is gonna be better for moving the shields. Yeah, so like a lot of the times I'm not using the 100% ideal tool for a job. What I want you to realize is that, you know, it's kind of hard to find this shit. Like the last thing you want to do is buy something online that may or may not work for the job and wait a week for it and then do that same thing again over and over and over again while a customer is calling you 10 times a day. Like, I'm all for using the right stuff, but I'm also all for if somebody's calling 10 times a day, like, you know, find what you have that will do the job that's around, you know, that's nearby. All right, so let's see what we have under this shield over here. I'll just put these in back on the table in order so I remember the orientation of them, just in case I decide to be nice and put this shit back on. So let's see what we have over here. All right, so you got some nasty shit around the edges, but nothing really. Actually, you can't see because the microscope's moving around. Let me just fix that. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. I know. I don't have the articulating one because it vibrates around too much. And watching Mark Schaefer do long screw damage with the articulating boom stand was kind of funny because you could clearly tell that he was in hell. And like if you walk the wrong way in the room, the shit would jiggle. This is much more sturdy with the regular stand. So anyway, like these caps, you can see that there's some. You can't even really tell. Like, is that underfill or is that's underfill. So that's actually not nasty. That's just a change in the color of the underfill. This is really fine. I mean, I don't have any complaints about this. I have some complaint about that. I don't know what the fuck that's for because I refuse to pay for ZXW tool. I am not going to pay a subscription fee year by year for stolen shit. If you want to steal shit, that's great. I'll pay for it once. I'm not going to pay for it every fucking year. So I have like a protest against ZXW tool. I refuse to pay for that shit. So I don't know what that is. I'd have to find a schematic to figure out what the fuck that is. But I'm just going to make a mental note in my head that looks fucked up. And, go from there. This all looks kind of fine to me. And now we're going to go and take off the shield on the back. Now, I'm not saying that what looks nasty is necessarily what's going to be wrong, but I'm taking a note of it because I plan on ultrasonically cleaning this. And what happens when you ultrasonically clean it is you lose those visual cues as to where the corrosion started. Now, one of the things that I think Jessa has going for her with the iPad rehab data recovery thing that I don't, a lot of people send me motherboards that they've already ultrasonically cleaned, so I can't see where the corrosion started. When her customers, and a lot of her customer base are people who are really fucking stupid. No offense to Jess at all. This is purely offense to the stupid people who do this kind of stupid shit. But they're the people who will not take the shield off of the phone. They don't take the shield off of the phone, and they ultrasonic it. So luckily, the corrosion is still there for her because the quote-unquote experts at the repair shops that are sending her shit usually have no fucking idea that you need to remove the shield to actually clean it. So she'll get it, pop the shield off, and know where the corrosion is instantly. A lot of the times I have to figure out where the corrosion was, or guess, because I can't see it. That sucks. I'm shying away from putting heat on the holes because I don't want the heat to go directly to the chips. I kind of want to heat this shield. And I'm using a temperature that's probably too low. I'm being a little too conservative here because I don't want to destroy the phone. I don't do phone shit every day, so I'd rather use a lower temperature and have it take a little longer than use a higher temperature and realize that I burned it. I have a habit of using really high temperatures with everything that I do because the 10-layer new Retina boards, those are really hard to get anything off of. Like, good luck using an 858D to remove the SPI ROM chip from an 820-3476. You could sit there all day. That shit ain't happening. Unless you manage to be very lucky and buy the one that actually works and does its job. Yeah, so we're gonna take the shield off, and of course it's popping out of the clamp that's not made for this. Okay, we get this going. I should probably raise my temperature. Why the fuck am I have this on 260 for? That is... Yeah, better safe than sorry, you know. I should probably be using something like 300, but... I'm not going to experiment on other people's shit. Okay. That whole thing on not experimenting on other people's shit. Never mind. Yeah, that temperature is a little bit too... We're up to 305. Yes, I hear snapping. Every time I pull the shield off, the damn board comes off because of this clamp is... Blah. I should just buy an Omnivice. Why am I fucking with this? Here. Nice and stuffed in there. I'm really scared to go near the holes until I really get an idea of what's under them and I have it in my head. Like a lot of people say that I have a cavalier attitude while I'm working on some of the stuff I'm working on and how I scrape and how I rip and how I'm kind of aggressive. The reason is I know what I can get away with because like I know when I'm next to a CPU and I know when I'm next to a big ground plane. Like I know when I can get away with doing things a little bit more aggressively versus when I can't. So I don't really know where all that shit is on an iPhone very well. So I treat it with kid gloves. And then once I know exactly where all the soft points are and exactly where all the hard points are, then I'll treat it like I do everything else. Here we go. The board is clamped in very nicely. Since it's clamped in nicely, this should come off easy. Wait, the board is clamped in by the part that the shield is on. Well, isn't that just fucking great? Alright, yeah, so that's never gonna come off. Here. Do this. Ah, this clamp is fucking killing me. Okay, let's get it down to here. Don't be the idiot that blames the tool. Don't be the idiot that blames the tool. Don't be the idiot that blames the tool. I'm about to be the idiot that blames the tool. I've had people come here and make excuses, like, I'm really good at this, but I just can't work on your equipment. It's like, if you can't work on a HAKKO 2027, a HAKKO 2032, and a HAKKO, and a JBC JTA, trust me, ain't the equipment. It's you. Same thing with the microscope. Like, is this a $6,000 microscope? No. But if you can't figure out how to make an Amano 2300S that works, not like the shit that I was getting in those videos, but an Amano 2300S that works for you. If you can't get this to work for you, let me tell you, it's not the tools. It's the person between the wall and the tool. This clamp is really annoying as hell. See, what if I do it like this? Get you out of here. Yeah, fuck this. I'm just gonna do it by hand. Suck. Fuck this bottom shield. You're never going back on. And it popped out of the clamp with me holding it in the clamp. You can see that my clamp is like this top notch here. You got my lever with aluminum foil and my other broken lever. Oh, yeah, top notch fucking equipment for the job. You. Snap, mofo. Yeah, fuck off. Oh well. Not like this shit's gonna get used ever again anyway. Alright, let's see what we got. Okay, this looks clean. That's not clean. That sure as fuck is not clean. That's not clean. Holy crap, none of that is clean. This area looks nice. I'm kind of curious what the scratch over here is talking about, but you know, I can live with that. Whoa, what the fuck is you? No, no. Oh my god, this is yeah, this is a clusterfuck. Like everywhere is nasty. Like this is nasty, that's nasty, that's nasty, that's nasty, that's nasty, that's nasty, that's nasty. Ugh. It's horseshit. Alright, so here's what I'm gonna try to do here. So what I'm gonna try and do is put some flux there. Just do a light reflow of the area before the ultrasonic cleaner. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pray that this works out of the ultrasonic cleaner so that I don't have to, you know, beg somebody for TeamViewer to their ZXW tool. Because I refuse to pay for it. But that's the thing. I'll pay Apple for schematics. But I'm not going to pay a bunch of people that are stealing the schematics from Apple for the schematics. Like, fuck out of here. Maybe I'll pay you once, but I'm not going to pay you a cloud service. So get seriously, just get whatever fucking dream they have. No. Not going to happen. Okay, so let's get out my flux. We're just going to put it all over these areas. And I'm not going to, and I know what you're thinking, that I'm going to let the balls out from under the chips. These chips have underfill. You can't do what you're doing. Yes, I can, because I'm not going to be using solder melting temperature here. I'm going to set my hot air to like 200 Fahrenheit, you know? After this, it can go on my ultrasonic, and I'll be good. So I'm pretty sure that the real damage is on the back side here, not on the front side, because the front side looked totally cool. The side that you guys saw, like I got nothing against that. I mean, the corrosion that I saw there was really minimal, and I don't feel like it would have any real effect here. So I'm gonna put my flux away. I'm gonna lower my hot air station here. You have to keep in mind that you can't just use 225 Celsius to melt solder. It's going to take time to actually melt the solder that's underneath the chips because it's underfill. The chip is going to absorb the heat. So if I set my hot air station to, let's say, 220 Celsius and I put the air up and I don't spend too much time in any particular area, I'm going to kind of flow away a lot of that corrosion. So that's what I'm going to try to do here. So take a look. Just going to up the light a little for you. You can see it maybe a little better. And we're just going to do this. Yeah, we're not trying to melt solder here. We're just trying to get rid of some of the crap. I'm also going to use this recording to take note of which components look the worst. Like that little... Let's see. So we have this... this... I'm guessing inductor or low impedance resistor. I'm just taking a guess there, but that looks really shitty. Probably still works, but it looks really shitty. This area is, I'm guessing, where the real fuck-ups are occurring. My tweezers just dropped, so I can't show you. Here we go. They're right over here. See that? Guessing this is really close proximity to LCD connector and digitizer, so I'm guessing it has something to do with that shit. Turning on the screen or something. Again, we're only at 220 Celsius here, so nothing crazy. Okay, can't really tell if that's corrosion or underfill. Could scrape away to see, but Jessa would get too much satisfaction if she saw me scraping away underfill. It can't be seen doing that here. I wonder what all this crap is. It's kind of redundant. A bunch of bypass capacitors next to these. This IC definitely saw some corrosion. Whatever that is pretty nasty. Scrape away some of that shit. Get some flux in that direction. Yeah, I'll turn it over, and even though none of the corrosion on this side really mattered much, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some flux on the areas that had a little bit. and just hot air it. That's really minor. Nothing that matters. The ultrasonic is going to get that off, but it helps it if you do this ahead of time. I will assist my ultrasonic cleaner however I can. Okay, and that being said, the ultrasonic cleaner looks like it's up to 62 Celsius, so I'm going to stop the video here. We're going to dump this board in the ultrasonic cleaner and hope that it comes out working so that I don't have to follow those bullshit schematics. Again, the regular schematics for the iPhone, you can't use Control F to find a lot of stuff. So if I want to find where a capacitor is, I have to look through the actual board view and actually read every single one, and it's ugh. But still, again, I'm not paying a subscription fee to people who are stealing shit. Fuck that. No, if I'm gonna pay a subscription fee, it's gonna be to Apple for the right to actually use these to repair things. I'll pay a subscription fee for that. I'm not gonna pay a subscription fee for stolen stuff. Fuck out of here. But yeah, so let me just stop the recording here. All right. So now it's time to see if this shit actually works. So time to plug in an LCD and a digitizer and a battery. And I'm using the original battery because I don't have any iPhone 5S batteries. I'm using the original screen because I don't have any iPhone 5S screens. Yeah. There was some corrosion on the battery, so I made sure to actually clean it off this time. Oh, man. Hey, I have one iPhone charger left in the store. Check that out. Yeah. It was this one iPhone data recovery for somebody that I was dating briefly that wasn't really into, and I didn't really want to have to give her a new battery. So I tried reusing the old one, and Jessa wasn't exactly happy with the results of it. She particularly wasn't happy with the fact that I sent her the phone after plugging in a corroded battery. But this time, because this is a regular customer, I decided to clean the corrosion off the battery before plugging it back into the phone. Let's see what we get here. This is the equivalent of fan spin in the MacBook repair community, by the way. All right, so it's kind of... Here we go. Let's see. Password. What do we have here for password? Password. Fuck. I didn't plug in the home button or the power button, so I got to do this to get the fucking screen to come back on. All right. Password is... Oh, hell yeah. And now I want to talk a little bit about why I did things the way that I did them. So some people might ask, I know it's come up in other videos, why is it that I decided to put flux around those small BGA chips in the upper left corner and then heat them before putting it in the ultrasonic? Well, what you may notice happens in some of my videos where I'm going over the MacBook Air, where the feedback ball on the LP8550 gets destroyed, that often doesn't actually get totally eviscerated. It doesn't get destroyed before the ultrasonic cleaner. Usually the ball goes poof, and then you have a bunch of little solder remnants there. But it's destroyed by the ultrasonic cleaner. So all those little remnants then get washed away. So what I did is I usually put flux under the chip. If I know that I don't have any of that chip left, I'll put flux under the chip, and then I'll give it a very, very light, just moving around. And again, you saw I wasn't using a temperature that was going to melt solder. I don't think I turned it up until around the end. I don't think I adjusted the temperature until right by the end where I put it close by. And it'll just move those remnants back together so that when it goes in the ultrasonic cleaner, all those little remnants, they don't, it's back to being a ball instead of just going poof everywhere. And the reason I did that is because I don't have any of these chips. It's not like when I have... an entire, I have a bunch of these here, right? So I have a bunch of these with all the different parts that I regularly use. So if a chip, if I managed to knock a ball off of a chip that was corroded, who really cares? Because I have another one in there. But here, I know that I'm going to have to order that from, God knows who, and that it's going to take forever to get here. And again, calling and calling and calling. So I have to do the best that I can to preserve what I have there. So what's fun here is that Jessa was, oh my God, I had like this influx of messages on how PP5E7 is going to be missing. You need to replace this, that, and the other. It's not going to be the screen. It's not going to be a bad screen. Lewis, it's not going to be a bad screen if you have a pattern on it and no touch. And it's like, I was purposely ignoring every message that Jessa sent me. Because as soon as I said that I was doing data recovery on a 5S, it's like, where is it corroded? What is going wrong? Like, what voltage did you get at this area? It's like, I'm not answering these questions. I'm not even looking at your message. Because the second I look at your message, you're going to say that that you fixed this phone. Or that this phone got fixed because of you. No. No. I'm of course semi-kidding here, obviously. So don't get all raging in troll mode right now. I know there are like a bunch of keyboard warriors running to make fun, but yeah, we're gonna get the data off of this now that it turns on, and that's that. So again, we do offer iPhone data recovery. I can get data off of a phone if it's dead. Jessa has multitudes, probably more experience doing it than I do, but doesn't mean that I'm not going to. And same with her. So, I have a lot more experience working on MacBook boards than she does, but, she can most certainly figure out a current sensing issue or a basic battery charging or not recognizing a battery issue and stuff like that. All this stuff kind of crosses over. And a lot of people have been commenting on the channel recently and trolling, saying, this guy does the same thing over and over again. He thinks he knows electronics, so he can do this thing. And it's like, when I was fixing audio electronics, people were like, he thinks he knows what he's doing because he knows where the fault is in a Pultec from 1951. Who cares about that irrelevant crap? And then I was doing speaker amps, and they were like, he thinks he knows what he's doing because he can recoil the tweeter in this little driver and find the fault and put it back together. That doesn't mean you know anything. And then I would do IT stuff, and they're like, he thinks he knows what he's doing because he can set up a phone system with a manual. Big deal. And then there's when I'm doing this, he thinks he knows what he's doing because he can fix the same Mac problem over and over again. And it's like, I don't care. There's always going to be a troll fest. But as I said in the recent video I did, the IT specialist can suck my dick video, the whole point of that video is that you shouldn't get into this mindset that I'm going to do one thing for the rest of my life. That is the only thing I'm qualified to do and the only thing that I can make money off of. The reason I don't fix cell phone motherboards is because people expect me to do this shit for $40. They expect me to do it while I'm in there. Again, I have gotten more than 13 missed calls about this. I said 2 to 4 business days. It's been less than 2 to 4 business days. Over 13 missed calls. And I'm not even talking about the ones where I picked up. I'm talking about the ones where they called before 10 a.m. or after 8 p.m. I'm talking about all the emails asking about it. Like, it's just, again, I don't deal with this with my regular repairs. I don't. But with phones, that's the way it is. So it's not that I don't fix phones because it's a technological issue. It's more of an economic and cultural issue. The economic issue being I'm doing the same work for much less money. And the cultural issue being the fact that people have accepted that they will have to be without their laptop for 1 or 2 days. People will go absolutely batshit fucking crazy if you tell them that they have to be without their phone for 1 or 2 days. And again, this person's like, they're using an iPhone 4 or 4S. I forget what it was, but it's like, it's not even that they don't have a phone. It's that they are using a phone that is 1 or 2 generations behind what they're used to, and that is such an injustice. How am I gonna live with it? It's like, this is me playing, Godowski's Volume 10, Track 1, like the tiniest little violin in the world, just for you. I'm kind of curious if this is actually disobeying fair use law by playing this short clip. Hopefully he doesn't mind. It's every now and then the salesperson in the front of the store will be I'll hear that he's just like getting bullshitted or listening to this really crap story. So what I'll do when that happens is I'll play this clip. I got it wrong. It wasn't Godowski's Volume 10. It was Godowski Volume 12, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing his name. But yeah, every time I hear some story like that, I play this. Because really, like, I'm stuck with an iPhone 4 or 4S. Like, that is so fucking horrible. Like cry me a fucking river. I don't, like, seriously. Do you know how many people in other countries would kill to own an iPhone 2 that gets proper service? Like, I mean, I maybe I'm just showing my age here. I grew up with a Game Boy. Like, if you wanted to play a video game and nighttime came, you took a flashlight. And you, like, I remember my neck getting fucked up because my parents didn't want to buy me a worm light. Damn straight, why are we going to waste more money on the kids' video games? I don't disagree with them. I remember having the flashlight on my shoulder and doing this and doing this to play the game if I was in the back of a car that had no light. I mean, like, iPhone 4 is not good enough for you for 2 fucking days? No, I don't give a shit. Again, when I hear that, I just think of this.